CSE in English with us. Clear with Unacademy, and my name is Vijay Kumar. And about me, if you want to know, I have 5 years of teaching experience for civil services, and I have also appeared for civil service interview twice, and I have given mains more than couple of times. So I have huge knowledge on this particular UPSC CSE preparation. That's why I'm present in front of you. And daily 7 o'clock, I'll be coming live for you. So daily at 7 p.m. I'll be coming up and taking one particular subtopic in geography, and I'll be teaching that. And exactly by 9:30 p.m. I'll frame the questions on this particular subtopic, and we will try to solve those questions at 9:30 p.m. live. So let's crack UPSC CSE English with Unacademy. Will help you in cracking civil services, which is going to happen on 2020 May 31st. So in this particular lecture series, I'll be focusing mostly on the prelims topic rather than mains analysis point of view, because we have prelims first, then mains. First, let me finish the prelims, then I'll be covering the mains aspects as well. And today's topic of geography, it would be pressure belts from the climatic system. In the first lecture, I have started up with the wind system, and in this we will be seeing about the pressure belts. Clear? So generally how the atmospheric pressure would be behaving, and how we would be reading these pressure belts, and what is the importance of these pressure belts, we would be understanding in these particular lectures. Clear? So if you want to learn more and crack UPSC CSE, it would happen through Unacademy, which is the largest platform in India. So if you want to crack this UPSC, get the subscription done immediately. For that, just open the Play Store app and click on Unacademy Learning app, and just to install that app, and immediately once you install, just get the subscription done. I'll be showing you the subscription prices within a while. But before that, I'll let you know what you will get from these Unacademy platform. So daily you will be having a number of live classes, where that in those live classes you can chat with the educator and engage in discussions, ask your doubts, and answer polls would be there. So all while the class is going on. Clear? So all daily when the live class happens, we would be having all these particular aspects. So, and you will be having detailed structured courses, like it's not like we would be having a structured course per month for that particular subject. Like let's assume polity, like you will be having detailed structure of this polity course, and all our courses which are present, they would be very well structured. Clear? So they will be in line with this exam syllabus, which will help you in this regard. And live test series and quizzes would be conducted on this platform, and you will be having unlimited access. Once the subscription, if you would be getting, you can see the recorded lectures, recorded courses, unlimited number of times. It's not like you have to watch only for 2 to 3 times. You can watch it n number of times. Clear? So the recorded videos, if you miss, even like for example, let's say you have missed this live class, then you can just come and see the recording as well. This is the best facility which you would be having. You can see some of the top educators on the platform, like you can see Sudarshan Gujar, who teaches geography, and you can see Ayush Sangi, who deals with GS paper 2 and many other aspects of your general studies. And Runal sir, he teaches Indian economy on this platform. And if you come to Prakash sir, he teaches art and culture. In this way, you will be finding more than 100 educators on this particular platform, who deals all the general studies aspects very perfectly and very deep in manner, where you will be feeling very comfort with. And once you get the subscription done, once go and check out these special classes. Like the special classes which generally happen, they are for your benefit. Once you see these special classes, you will come to know how these special classes would run, and you will just get an idea how the classes would be running on the Unacademy platform once you get the subscription done. And 100% it's true, once if you watch these special classes, you would be 100% able, like you will 100% get the confidence of getting the subscription done. So please get the subscription, please download the app today itself, and immediately after downloading the app, so try to see these special classes so that you will get a better idea how the classes run on this. And you can also see the upcoming courses which are going to come on this platform. Like once you open the app, you will be coming to know what are the courses which would be starting. Hence this will 100% help you. And see, this is the subscription price. If you have watched the subscription price per 1 month, it would be 7,200. But better, I suggest you to go for 12-month or 24-month course. Like it's because the civil service exam pattern itself would be of 1 year. Then so like better you have to have 1 year or 1.5 year preparation. So for that to happen, if you take this 24-month course subscription, you will be able to crack the examination along with the Unacademy very easily. It's not like the civil service is going to happen within a fortnight. It takes some amount of time, and for that you have to have the subscription for 12-month or 24-month. And if you could see, there is no much difference. See, just give me 1 minute. So like see, if you see, for 12-month the chargeable price is 36,000, and for 24-month it is 43,200. So for 24-month and 12-month course, there is no much difference. Hence you can also get much discount when you use my code. So while you are proceeding to pay, if you use the code called as VK10, so it will help you in getting more 10% discount of what the price actually is present. So if you want to take 43,200 like subscription, in that you will be getting deduction of 4,320 rupees by using this particular code called as VK10. So before you get the subscription done, try to use this code. Hence you will be getting more and more benefits. We'll move into the lectures. Clear? So the pressure belts, generally the atmospheric pressure which is present, that can be calculated vertically as well as horizontally. So vertically, if you see the pressure system, the pressure decreases along with the height. Like moving vertically above in the atmosphere, generally pressure decreases up to troposphere, and the average pressure which is acting onto that surface from the atmosphere, because it has some mass and weight, the average pressure would be 1013.25 millibars on the mean sea level. So the mean sea level pressure would be that much, but it is not true for all the latitudes. At different latitudes, we would be having different pressure systems which would be acting. And horizontally, if you want to calculate the pressure system, so we have to read about these pressure cells. So before I explain about different pressure systems on that surface, it is must that you have to know what happens to these pressure cells and why they would be present. 2 points have to be remembered. So either we would be having low pressure center or we would be having high pressure center. See, in general, any region, for example, let's take equator. Equator would be receiving maximum insolation. So hence the air masses which are present, that particular air mass would be increasing in its volume when the air expands. Because the air is expanding, the volume of this particular air expands, and hence the pressure within the air parcel falls, creating a low pressure cell. So just blindly believe that in those regions wherever we have maximum heat, like where we have maximum insolation, in those regions we would be having maximum low pressure conditions. Just do remember this statement. And the second statement which you remember is, when the air is moving upwards, at some point of time the air would be saturated, the air would be cooled down, hence the volume of air parcel decreases. So when the air would be heated, we would be having air expansion, and when air would be cooled down, the air would be decreasing its volume. So when air is compressed, it generally tends to come down onto the surface, and hence when the air parcel reaches the ground surface, it creates high pressure zones. Only 2 points have to be remembered so that you can understand the pressure belts very easily. One point is, when we have maximum heat, the air parcel, the volume of air parcel increases, and hence it lifts upwards, creating a low pressure center. And when the air is cooled down, it tends to descend down and reach their surface, creating high pressure centers. So this is what the general criteria of the pressure cells on the earth surface would be. And if you see, in winter season, the continents are cooler than oceans. That is obviously because continents or land masses which we generally say. Clear? Those continents and land masses, they have rapid intaking of heat and they would be having rapid loss of heat. So the continents which are present in the winter season, they would be cooler than the oceans, because oceans might have not radiated the heat back which these oceans have intaken, and tend to develop high pressure centers. So during generally in winter seasons, on continents we have high pressure, and on water bodies we would be having low pressure. And relatively it is opposite, like in summers relatively warmer conditions are present on the continents and it would be having development of low pressure. Do remember these certain points so that you understand pressure belts. And for understanding these pressure belts, it is 100% necessary that you have to understand about these isobars. Clear? Do remember this particular keyword called as isobar. So isobar is nothing but an imaginary line, just an imaginary line joining equal pressure zones on that surface. See, for example, at a given latitude, it's not true like we would be having entire continental landmass. We may have water body, we may have landmass, and there are huge differentiations which are present. So it's not like the isobar would be with the same latitude, like parallel to that of latitude. Almost it might be parallel to the latitude, but it will create some Rossby waves, like we would be having the isobars in a wavy like structures. The spacing of isobar expresses the rate of pressure changes and it is referred as pressure gradient. In general, the change in pressure is called as pressure gradient, and isobars might be having closed isobars as well. If you see, like whenever we have this isobar, see, you can see over here, this is a closed isobar. On the top, wherever you are seeing 1018 millibar, 120 millibar, 1018 millibar, so this is an isobar which is joining almost equal pressure zones on that surface. But here you can see a closed isobar. Generally in the cyclonic circulations, you can observe this closed isobars. Clear? So closed isobars, they are low pressure systems which is enclosed by one or more isobar with the lowest pressure at the center. You can see this is the closed isobar. And high pressure system is also enclosed by one or more isobars with high pressure at the center. See, you can see this high pressure. Generally cyclones would be having closed isobars having low pressure at the center, and anticyclones, they would be having closed isobars having high pressure at the center. Do remember, in the further lectures, whenever we discuss about cyclones, we'll be discussing about these closed isobars again. So let's now come into the different pressure belts on that surface. Horizontal distribution of pressure is studied by drawing isobars. So generally whenever we study about different isobars, we would be understanding about different pressure systems on that surface. Clear? And in such a way, we have 7 distinct pressure belts which are created on that surface. One pressure belt is at equatorial region, that is equatorial low pressure belt, and the next 2 are at subtropical high, one in north hemisphere, one in southern hemisphere, and then we have subpolar low pressure belt, one in north and one in south, and then we have polar high pressure belts, one in north and one in south. In such a way, we would be having 7 pressure belts which are present. And if you see the pressure belts which are present, they are not permanent in nature. Do remember this point. Many a times in preliminary examinations, when the question comes, they might give you, consider the following statements about pressure belts. In that they might give you in such a statement that the pressure belts are permanent in nature, but generally pressure belts are not permanent in nature. They oscillate. They oscillate. So generally equatorial low pressure belt which is present, that generally oscillate towards north in the winter, summer solstice time, like in the month of June. Then we have monsoon, and they oscillate towards the southern hemisphere during the winter solstice time. So these pressure belts throughout the year, almost for maximum time of a year, they are constant, but they endue with respect to the sun's insolation. These pressure belts oscillate between the tropics, and in general the equatorial low pressure belt which is present, that tend to oscillate within the tropics. Clear? So hence there is an exception, like equatorial low is only one single belt, and all other pressure belts which we have, they have their matching pairs in northern and southern hemisphere. Here you can see the diagram. See, equatorial low pressure belt. It is also called as ITCZ. Subtropical high pressure belt. Subtropical high pressure belt. How they are formed, I'll be explaining in the upcoming slides. And polar, subpolar low pressure belt and polar high pressure belt. Clear? So here you can see the oscillating of wind systems where near the equatorial region. Why we have the equatorial low pressure belt would be the question. So in general, the sun rays which generally fall, hope everyone know about the concept of season. In the concept of season, we have like we would be discussing like throughout the year we would be having summer solstice, winter solstice, spring equinox, autumn equinox, right? So in that, whenever you see the sun rays, they fall perpendicularly within the tropics. Beyond the tropics, the sun rays doesn't fall perpendicularly. Do remember this point. Sun rays doesn't fall perpendicularly beyond tropics. They move in a parallel way. So this perpendicular sun rays either falls between within the tropics, like either they would be on Tropic of Cancer or at 20° north or 10° north or at 0° equator or 10° south or 20° south or 30° south. So in this regard, equatorial low pressure belt which is present, that is being formed because of the maximum heating. In the first slides I have explained here. If you see, when heated, the volume of air parcel increases and hence the pressure within the air parcel falls, creating low pressure cell. If you see this diagram now. So here the air masses which are present, they tend to be heated and this air mass would be lifting upwards, creating the low pressure conditions. And immediately as this air parcel which is moving upwards, they reaching certain heights. Clear? Just 1 minute. So they reaching certain heights, they would be experiencing some saturation point. And this vertical movement of air would be called as convection. And because of that convection, we would be having cloud formation and hence we would be experiencing precipitation in these zones. So equatorial regions, because of this ascending air columns, they have low pressure belts and hence we would be experiencing the precipitational patterns. Clear? So you can see the cloud formation over here. So do remember, wherever you have low pressure areas, blindly believe that in those regions you would be having cloud formation and precipitation. Near to the equatorial region, as we have low pressure conditions, we would be having the cloud formations and precipitations which generally drop. Clear? And this equatorial low pressure belt is also considered as ITCZ. What is ITCZ now? Its full form is Intertropical Convergence Zone. So why we have named ITCZ to this equatorial low pressure belt is equatorial low pressure belt which is present, that generally oscillate within the tropics. It is not permanent on the equator. Like for example, during summer solstice, this equatorial low pressure belt which is present, that generally shifts here. And during winter solstice times, the equatorial low pressure belt shifts here. So because of this shifting of low pressure within the tropics, we would be considering this equatorial low pressure belt as ITCZ, that is Intertropical Convergence Zone. And it is also named as doldrums belt. So why it is called as doldrums belt is, this particular equatorial low pressure belt is of calm moving conditions. We would be having calm conditions near the equatorial regions without any maximum atmospheric disturbances. That is the reason why it would be called as doldrums belt. Clear? And one more notable point which you could observe here is equatorial low pressure belt, as it is maximum fitting near the equator, this equatorial region, it will be experiencing cloud formation throughout the year. Hence equatorial regions, they experience rainfall for more than 300 days out of 365 days, which would be called as convectional rainfall. In the later chapters of subtopics of rainfall, I'll be discussing about those types of rainfalls: convectional, orographic and frontal rainfall. Clear? So do remember, equatorial low pressure belt, it is almost permanent near the equator, but as it oscillates within the tropics, it would be called as ITCZ. Clear? And if you come to subtropical high pressure belt, how it has been created? See, the wind which is rising from the equator, that generally tends to move towards the polar region. And when it is rising upwards, it has cooled down. Clear? And here in the first statement I have said, like when cooled, the volume of air parcel decreases, air is compressed, and hence the pressure within the air parcel increases, creating a high pressure cell. Hence, in this regard, when the air would be cooled down, this tends to descend onto the subtropical location. And as it tends to descend onto the subtropical location, here we would be finding high pressure belt. Here they are called as subtropical high pressure belts. In this region, we would be experiencing subtropical high pressure belts. Do remember this point. And this is the reason why we experience formation of deserts in this region. Clear? So, as whenever we have the convectional ascent, we would be experiencing cloud formation. Just 1 minute. So whenever we experience convectional ascent in these zones, we would be experiencing cloud formation. And whenever we experience high pressure conditions, we would be experiencing no cloud formation. Here you are seeing we are not having any cloud formation. Only clouds are formed at the low pressure areas. And near to the high pressure areas, there is no cloud formation, and hence if you see almost all the deserts which are present, they are formed on this particular high pressure belt. If you see the Atacama Desert, Namib Desert, Kalahari Desert, Sahara Desert, Sonoran Mojave Desert of North America, Thar Desert of India, Rubal Khali, Daste Kavir, Daste Lut, Great Australian Deserts, every world's hot and dry desert which is present, that is present near to that of subtropical location, either in the northern hemisphere or in the southern hemisphere. The deserts are created just because of this descending air columns. Are you getting this point? And hence after descending, they generally tend to move as horizontal movement of air, the wind systems which we have discussed yesterday about the trade winds and the prevailing westerlies and all. So this point. And these wind systems from the horse latitudes or subtropical high pressure belts, these are called as horse latitudes as well. We have historical reason for it. The historical reason behind it is, as these regions have high pressure conditions acting from the top, the sailors who used to trade these horses, their weight of ship is almost high because of the horses which are present, and from the top the descending air column used to make the ship to sink. Hence these traders, they used to throw a number of horses at these latitudes, so the ship to sail very easily on this water. Hence these latitudes have been given up with a name called as horse latitudes as well. Clear? And from these horse latitudes, after this descending air column, we would be having the prevailing westerlies which generally move. And these westerlies, they are warm winds, and from polar regions we would be having polaries or polar easterlies. And these polar easterlies are cooler, prevailing westerlies are warmer, hence they never mix up. Hence they generate a confluence zone here dynamically. They form a front here, a vacuum like structure, and just because of the vacuum like structure which has been tend to move, we would be having again ascending air column. So because of that, we would be having low pressure conditions and rainfall pattern which would be developed, and hence again this wind moves and hence descend near the equatorial region, creating high pressure conditions. So equatorial low pressure belt created thermally because of the temperature acting as a factor. Subtropical high pressure belt, it has been created dynamically because of the descending air column. Polar low pressure belt, it has created dynamically because of the front formation and the air masses lifting upwards. Polar high pressure belt, it has been created because of the descending air column which is present. Do remember these points, hence they 100% will help you. See, subtropical high pressure belts are horse latitudes. This is what happens at the low pressure condition. Near to the low pressure condition, like maximum heat when it is produced, the air masses would be increasing its volume and they tend to raise up and they create cloud formation. And at descending air column, this cloud formation doesn't happen. You can see subtropical high pressure belt. That is the reason why we have deserts over here. And already a question has been asked in UPSC, like major hot deserts in northern hemisphere are located between 20 to 30 degree north and on the western side of the continents. What is the reason behind it? So this question also is been appeared in UPSC. So please do remember about these pressure belts. There are high chances that question in prelims. Just now I am speaking about prelims. I am not at all speaking about mains, as we have last 90 days exactly with us. I am just focusing on this preliminary points which can make you clear this prelims. See, as I have said, equatorial low pressure belt lies between 10 degree north to 10 degrees south, and its width may vary seasonally, like it may move bit north and bit south as well. That is the reason why I have said it is called as intertropical convergence zone. And subtropical high pressure belt, it is between 35 degree north and south, like after complete loss of moisture, air moving away from the equatorial low pressure belt, and subtropical low pressure belt in the upper troposphere is dry and cold, and because of that this subsides at this 35 degree north and south. Hence high pressure, because of the dynamic impact, is being developed. So this pressure belt is dynamically induced. Please do remember this point. It is dynamically induced. So already I have said the climate near the equatorial region, like heavy rainfalls because of low pressure. If you see the climate associated with this subtropical location, subsiding air, descending air, therefore most deserts are present along these belts. Calm condition, anticyclonic condition would be visible, creating having closed isobar, having high pressure at the center, and the belt is frequently invaded by tropical and extratropical disturbances. This is true. Generally tropical cyclones, they doesn't reach the equatorial region because of absence of Coriolis force over there. And subpolar low pressure belts, already I have discussed. There are two reasons why we have subpolar low pressure belt. One is Coriolis force, whereby it is produced by the rotation of Earth on its own axis, and ascent of air as a result of convergence of westerlies. Polar high pressure belt, like it is formed, like polar highs are small in area, obviously. They lie around poles between 80 to 90 degree north and south. The air from subpolar low pressure belt after saturation becomes very dry. This dry air becomes cold while moving towards the pole. So hence reaching those regions, high pressure conditions are created. So these are the particular pressure belts which we have. Do remember equatorial low pressure belt and subtropical high pressure belt, subpolar low pressure belt, and polar high pressure belt. These are the important pressure belts, 7 pressure belts which we have. And if you have any doubts, please do drop in the comment section. So please do remember this diagram, this diagrammatical representation. In mains also, when examiner asks something indirect about this particular pressure belts, there are huge chances that we would be getting the questions from this zone. Do remember this ITCZ, equatorial low pressure belt, doldrum belt, subtropical high pressure belt, horse latitude, polar low pressure belt, subpolar low pressure belt formed dynamically because of front formation, and polar high pressure belt. Clear? So see, this equatorial low pressure belt, when the sun rays fall onto these latitudes, equatorial low pressure belt shift here, and here we would be having low pressure conditions. Then we would be having concept of monsoon. So if you want to understand about monsoon, please do wait. In the earlier lecture during the wind system, during the periodic winds, we have discussed already like how the monsoonal impact would be present, and I'll make a special lecture on monsoon. I'm taking each and every subtopic from geography. Clear? Very shorter like lectures I'm making it in a shorter way, like within 25 to 30 minutes each subtopic would be completed, which are highly important for your preliminary examinations. Clear? So please do focus on these particular aspects. 100% you would be getting the questions from these. Done. So if you find any doubts in all this, please get back, do comment, and please also comment those topics which you are feeling in discomfort with, so that I can make those concepts very familiar for you. So those concepts which are present in preliminary examination, if you feel they are difficult for you to understand, please do drop in the comment section. I'll try to check into those comment sections and I'll try to help in those particular aspects as well. Clear? So let's crack UPSC CSE with English. Just click on the bell button. You will be getting continuous notifications of the lectures. And please click on the subscribe button of Let's Crack UPSC CSE English with Unacademy. And before getting the subscription done, please try to use this code called as VK10 so that you will be getting 10% discount. And if you have liked this video, please give a like symbol. And please do share this video so that it can reach as many people as possible. Thank you.